Hey everybody, I hope the connection is not choppy because I seen that little whatchamajobby come up there like when things were in and said something about the connection was fairly good. So hopefully we won't have too many problems. I know sometimes the internet kind of messes up whenever there's storms or rain, and we just had a little rain, thunder, and stuff a little bit earlier. Um, but as usual, I am behind and wanted to make it on here to let you guys know I was here, all two of you right now. Hopefully, we'll have some more people in here before this watch along is over. But we just got an order in from Grubhub, so I'm gonna go give Steve his ice cream that I ordered for him, and run to the restroom, of course, and then I'll bring my food back in here, and we'll go ahead and get started with everything. So I'm just gonna remove myself temporarily from the stream, and I will be right back. Alrighty, guys and gals, whoever all is in here. Looks like we've got 5 now. Don't see anybody chatting just yet, but that is cool. I also got my food. I got a flamethrower burger from good old DQ. And they, believe it or not, they have cheese curds, which are really good. They're about like cheese sticks or something like that. Um, and I also got a sunset misty twist. They're pretty good too. And I got a Snickers Blizzard for later, and got Steve a Reese Cup Blizzard in case anybody cares. But yeah, so this flamethrower burger has evidently got jalapeno bacon. It's got pepper jack cheese, lettuce, tomato, and whatever the flamethrower sauce is. Try it out here. Pretty good. It is a little spicy, not overly spicy, mind you, but just spicy enough for me, I think. Okay, so if you guys don't mind me eating, this is my dinner or supper or whatever people call it in your neck of the woods. Again, my hat looks as crooked as hell. And like always, I can't ever tell if it's my camera or that's askew or the hat actually is it askew. What it probably doesn't really matter. I am going to step back there and slide that door closed. Hey, Texas. So hopefully I won't disturb Steve and he won't disturb me, or things that are going on in there, like with the dogs or whatever, won't disturb me as well. Sorry for my hair looking kind of crappy tonight. Not that y'all probably care, but anyways. You had to get your dinner together as well, too? Yeah. I had mine delivered from Grubhub. You got Burger King. You got Burger King, and I got Dairy Queen. So Steve said, "Did you order you a chicken strip basket? Because that's what I usually get." And I was like, "Nah, got something different this time." So, um, there's about 3 things I'm going to talk about on the Daily Grindhouse, and we'll get to that in just a second, and then hopefully we'll get to the movie. Now, there is a YouTube link for A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Oh yeah, we've had that happen too, Texas. You say you ordered something earlier for lunch and DoorDash misdelivered it, so I'm getting a refund. So did they not get it to you at all, Texas, or they deliver the wrong thing to you? Because they usually deliver us the wrong thing, and we get a refund, and hopefully we can get what we ordered originally. Plus, we get to keep all this other food, and a lot of times it's fine food. It's just not exactly what we ordered. So, before I get to that, I did want to remind you guys that yes, there is a link, a YouTube link to watch tonight's watch along, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. There may be other ways to watch it. Texas, if you know some other places that people can watch it, seem to have been on the up and up with all of that stuff. So if you want to put that in there, that's fine. I will be using my Blu-ray that has Nightmare on Elm Streets 2 and 3 on it. Hey, Gory Tiger. Texas, you say they took it to the wrong place. The GPS always takes them around the corner, and I couldn't get a hold of the driver. You couldn't find anything? Okay. So I guess if you don't have your own copy of it, then feel free to use the YouTube link. There may be some commercials in there. Um, and, you know, and I hope this doesn't come off sounding jerky or anything like that, but I am a proud supporter of the uh, LGBTQ plus community, and I hope I did the letters in the right order because sometimes I get them in the wrong order. But I am a proud supporter of them. I have friends that are gay, friends that are bi, you know, um, and although my mom always says, "Oh, and I'm not going to get too political or anything like that. My mom says, "All you young people, nothing ever bothers you about stuff like that." And I'm like, "It's a lifestyle. It affects me zero. Um, I'm straight and they're gay. What difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference at all." And if you guys feel differently, please don't take offense at me saying this. I just was not I wasn't even thinking about it about June being Pride Month when I came up with this for a watch along. I just thought my thinking was Number on Elm Street 2 is a fun movie, and I think it would be a fun one to do a watch along. And then later I got to thinking, oh, I'm doing this in June. June is Pride Month. That's perfect. And although, I was one of the people that did not see all the, I guess, homosexual innuendos that were sprinkled throughout this movie the first time I saw it. And there's people that I know that are gay, and they said they didn't notice it either. I mean, we were all kids. We didn't, we weren't thinking, probably weren't thinking one way or the other about it. But now it's so obvious, now that we're older and all that. So, and Mark Patton, the star of the movie, is gay, which is cool. I met Mark Patton several years ago, and he was a really cool guy. And I would like to meet him again and talk to him. So, if you ever get a chance to meet Mark Patton, I say go for it. Because, like I said, he's a really cool guy. Um, there's a picture of me somewhere with Mark Patton, and he has the Freddy glove, which was really, really cool. So, anyway, just a little bit about that. If anyone wants to come live on the stream with me, the link is in here for StreamYard, so you can come backstage and I can add you. This can be at any point in time during the movie. Doesn't have to necessarily be at the beginning of the movie. I mean, again, barring it's not a couple of minutes or 30 seconds before the end of the movie, it's all good. Okay. Of course, if you come in 5 minutes, you're not going to be on here very long, but feel free to do so. I'd give you 5 minutes. If anybody comes in here later and needs a timestamp, give us a holler in the chat and say, hey, I need a timestamp, and I'm sure somebody will be glad to give that to you. There's a damn fruit fly flying around here now. If it ain't the spiders, it's the damn fruit flies. And I'm seeing, like, I don't know where these things are coming from. Like I said, as far as these spiders, I have dusted and knocked down cobwebs on both my microphone arm and my light, my overhead light. Hey, Blair, thank you for the birthday wishes. But anyway, um, I digress here. So, if anybody comes in here later and the links get lost in the chat and you need me to repost either one or both of them, I will be glad to do so. Um, so I guess that's all about that till we get ready to get started here. So I wanted to go over, of course, some of the upcoming watch-alongs and drive-in movie night, the final drive-in movie night for a while until the last drive-in goes on hiatus or vacation again. So this next Friday, June 16th, will be Cannibal Night. We will be watching Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust. In my household, I will be watching as much of the animal cruelty-free versions of both of those as I can, even if that means turning my head away when something happens, right? Okay. But you guys can feel free to do whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. So, as far as upcoming watch-alongs, June 17th, which is the day before the impending Father's Day holiday, we will be watching the original Stepfather. June 18th will be the John Cusack Joint High Fidelity. And I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. Oh, what that was? Something on me. Okay. Sorry, guys. And then I didn't sneeze. Oh, man. Oh, I'll probably sneeze later. You wait and mark my words. There was something on the sleeve of it. I thought it was a bug or something. Who knows what it was. Anyways, back to June 18th will be the John Cusack Joint High Fidelity. June 24th will be Just Before Dawn, followed on June 25th with the hilarious Caddyshack. July 1st will be the original Town That Dreaded Sundown. July 2nd will be Slumber Party Massacre 2. And July 8th will be Superstition, which should be fun because I don't know that a lot of people have seen that. Coco, you say, I just watched a documentary on Mark Patton in this movie. It was pretty good. Yes. Are you talking about the Scream Queen documentary, Coco? Because I watched that too, and it was really cool. Plus, they do talk to Mark Patton on Never Sleep Again as well, which is really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick off the Daily Grindhouse with this intro. So let's get this started here. Here we go. All righty, guys and gals. Okay. So, first thing I wanted to talk about is seductive poison. As I have been talking about, me and Kelly are in the works right now of trying to work things out about what day we want to do seductive poison on. Coco, you say it may have been called that, Dana? Okay, cool. Um, so some of you in here might be thinking, what in the hell is seductive poison? What's Diana talking about? So seductive poison was a little podcast I did several years ago with Jenny, who both of us were pretty active in, excuse me, in dead pit circles at that time. And I believe CK was probably the one that suggested that I contact Jenny and see if she'd be interested. And she was already my friend on Facebook. She's still my friend on Facebook. And so I contacted her and she said, sure, my idea was to have a podcast hosted and co-hosted by women. Not that that was really a newfangled idea. It's just that a lot of the horror podcasts I saw at the time uh, were hosted and co-hosted by guys, which is totally cool. But I just wanted to try my hand at it and see if I could make a go of it. And so Jenny and I think we had a pretty successful run. There were actually some people listening, and we had several shows and stuff. And at the time, I had a website devoted to seductive poison and all of that. And so we had a lot of fun doing them. There were some times when Jenny was busy and could not do the shows, and I would do a show by myself. Sometimes there were times when neither one of us could do the show, or I couldn't do the show because I was on vacation or I was doing something with Steve or, whatever. And then we would just postpone it. So that went on for a few years. And then not as long as Dead Pit, but a few years. And so then Steve and I got married. Jenny got divorced and remarried and married Vaughn. I don't know how many of you know Vaughn, but he was also very active in the Dead Pit circles. And so the combination of those two things, my marriage to Steve, her divorce and remarriage to Vaughn. She didn't get divorced from Vaughn. She got divorced from someone else. But then she got remarried and she married Vaughn. And they had two beautiful little girls. And I believe Jenny got a new job and all of that. She may have even went back to school at a certain point in time. I'm trying to remember all the specifics. But, time just got away from both of us. And we tried several times to kind of revive the Seductive Poison podcast because both of us really, really enjoyed it. And we tried one show, and for whatever reason, that show, we tried to do it through Skype and record it through Skype. And part of that show did not get recorded. I don't know what happened. Technical difficulties somewhere along the way. So we tried 2 to 3 times after that to get together to do the show. And things just didn't click, didn't get together. And again, it wasn't Jenny's fault, it wasn't my fault, it was just something that happened. So a few weeks ago, Darren mentioned to me, and somebody else may have mentioned to me as well in the stream, have you ever thought about bringing back Seductive Poison? And I was like, I kind of have in passing. but nothing's ever materialized. And I think somebody mentioned Kelly at that point in time. Darren, probably. Um, and so I took a chance. I contacted Kelly. I asked her if she'd be interested, and she said, "Yeah, we've still got to work out a few final things, um, but I'm going to be calling this seductive poison the resurgence." Um, and I don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to ride on the coattails of Dead Pit or copy Dead Pit because they're having the Dead Pit revival show now. I'm just really the reason why I thought about bringing this back is because more than one person has mentioned it. So that is in the works. Um, and I hope everybody is excited about that. Maybe we'll gain some new listeners and all of that, or new watchers, because I'm no longer going to be doing it through Skype. That's old news, old school stuff for me. Now, with the enhancements in YouTube and stuff like that, and I know YouTube can be a bitch about things, but and I hope just saying that don't get me kicked off. But um, with the ability to do live streams through StreamYard and OBS and all these other different entities, it makes it a lot easier to do a podcast and do it live. And people can come in and chat just like you guys are chatting while I'm doing these other live streams. So that is the plan. As soon as we can work out all the final details, Kelly and I will be doing seductive poison. Hopefully, I can get Jenny on there with us since she was an original co host. And we'll have all three of us ladies on there, which would be completely awesome. I'm also not against having guest co hosts on there with me and Kelly. So if any of you gals, sorry guys, I wouldn't be against having a guy on there as like a guest. So guys, you can think about that if that's something that you think you might want to do. But again, the primary core host and co-host will be women. It will be me and Kelly. So um, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now, let's talk about the little. I know there were some of you in here last night for the watch along that heard me talk about. We did a meet and greet with a beautiful little female basset hound who's a beautiful girl. She is so sweet and so beautiful and so petite. We were not expecting her to be this small, but she is. And I think she's going to fit right in with our little family. And I know I was talking about her name being Billie Jean after the character of Billie Jean and the legend of Billie Jean, played by Helen Slater. However, I was going back over names last night and I came across Zoe Bell's name. And Zoe Bell is a stunt woman. And she has been in a ton of stuff. Most notably, one of Steve and I's favorite films, the Death Proof part of Grindhouse. And she pretty much played herself. Her character's name was Zoe. So that's what we're going to name our new girl. It will be Zoe, and we already have a caller for and all of that. I got the caller in from Amazon today, It's kind of a purplish colored, bluish colored collar with beautiful pink flowers on it. So I feel like that'll be perfect for her. So we are going to be picking our little girl up tomorrow evening after I get off from work. I really wanted to bring her home yesterday when we went for the meet and greet. However, Steve and I both decided that since she's got to have stitches out because she was fixed, um, they're just going to take her to the vet tomorrow and have her stitches removed, have her checked over again, and then she'll be ready to come home with us tomorrow evening. So I am set to do a live stream with Uncle Bill, one of Uncle Bill's tour of Italy streams. We're going to be talking about Lamberto Bava movies. So you guys can look forward to that. So you might get to see little Zoe in the background somewhere on that stream, possibly. So, and the last thing I wanted to talk about in this daily grindhouse, see, sometimes I hardly have anything to talk about, and sometimes I have a ton of things to talk about, is that I had talked about that I got Night of the Hunter in. Hey, John. Night of the Hunter in on 4K from Kino Lorber recently. I had never seen this movie before. I had heard about it over the years, but never seen it. So guess what? I watched it last night. And the 4K looks great, fantastic, and the movie is amazing. But if you don't want a movie that's going to make you tense through pretty much the majority of it, you might want to wait to watch it. But it is an amazing movie. Was made in 1955 and stars Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters. Exactly, TJ. And hello, by the way. TJ says, hi, peoples. Zoe was also Uma Thurman's stunt double in the Kill Bill movies, and she has a cameo in Malignant. She certainly does. And thank you for bringing that up. Texas, you said that's great, Dana. Coco says, yes, show her. Well, I will certainly try, Coco. Hopefully you'll come to Uncle Bill's Tour of Italy stream. It'll be tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. John, you say you've been at FrankenCon all weekend. Nightmare 2 is underrated. Did you have a good time at FrankenCon, John? I've been wanting to go to one of those, and Steve keeps saying no. Really, Coco, me and Steve really like Malignant. It was one of the few things that we liked together. So you say her cameo on Malignant was the only thing good about that shit show. Well, I'll tell you what, Coco, I respect your opinion as I respect everybody's. But here's the thing I would suggest with Malignant. Wait a little while and try to give it another watch. I'm not saying go out and buy it or anything like that. But if you can watch it for free, I'd say wait a little bit, wait about a month or so, try giving it another watch. If you still hate it, I mean, that's cool. Blair, you say, who can bench press more, Steve, CK, UB, or J Real? I don't even know if CK and UB bench press. And I don't know. Steve used to tell me how much he could bench press. But for the life of me, I can't remember what the last number he gave me was. And I don't know about Jay Real. I know Jay Real's been really working on his physique, but I don't know how much he can bench press. Johnny say, yeah, we got to do a podcast panel, uh, work work with Gregory and Brian Bremer. A lot of fun, honestly. Brought too many movies. Bought too many movies because Orbit was there. Well, I bet I would. I don't know why I didn't buy some things. It may have been because I was broke or low on money. Um. Oh, with Honey Gregory. Oh, okay, I missed that. Honey Gregory. Oh, awesome. Pretty much Joe Bob's first male girl. That's awesome. Sorry, I read that wrong at first, John. I was back looking at it. Um, TJ, you say, yeah, not everyone likes everything. At least Malignant wasn't a requel or a remake, but something original. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, TJ. But I kind of think of it in terms of like with me, like I told y'all before, I really disliked the Babadook the first time around. I mean, I hated it. And I rewatched it when Joe Bob showed it on his show, and I'm like, oh, I like this now. The kid was still slightly annoying, but other than that, John, you say you should go next year. It's a uh, real small con, so it's fun, not like overcrowded or anything. Maybe I can talk him into it. Um, I know Texas Frightmare Weekend is quite a bit bigger than like FrankenCon, but Dirk said we need to try to go that next year. John, you say Malignant honestly is not bad at all. I feel like it's aged well given what came out that time period. Coco, you say I'll check it out in another 5 years maybe. If people like stuff, I'm not knocking them. Maybe I just didn't care for it. Didn't like Antlers either, and a lot of people did. I didn't like Antlers, but to each his own. John, you say, "Oh God, yeah, those are huge. I'm definitely doing Scarefest." TJ, you say, "Steve didn't tempt you to rewatch the Evil Dead 2013, Dana? LOL." No, I saw that he was watching it, and I was doing something anyway, so yeah, couldn't even tempt me a little bit. Um, John, you said not to sidetrack, but did you think the Boogeyman's worth a theater trip? May go this week. Um, you say I know. You said you saw it. Yeah, actually, Steve took me as part of my birthday gift. Um, do I think it's worth a theater trip? Well, let me put it this way, John. If you are a big Stephen King fan, I would say go for it. If you're not a big Stephen King fan, I would say wait, maybe not spend your money and go to the theater. Maybe wait until, it comes out, and I'm not, guys, I'm not advocating, downloading stuff and putting it on hard drives like Steve does. But if you're not a real big Stephen King fan, I would say try to find another outlet to watch it. But that's just my 2 cents worth. I mean, you guys don't have to, follow everything I say. Um, it's purely my opinion. But I thought it was a decent film. I liked what they did with the boogeyman. Uh, For PG-13, I think that they did a really good job with the creature. Um, and the kid characters, for the most part, there was one bitchy girl that went to the high school that the oldest daughter went, where the oldest daughter went. And she was really the only super obnoxious, bitchy character in the whole thing. But the two main kids, the older sister and then her much appeared to be much younger sister, um, and their dad, uh, that dynamic, that family dynamic worked very well, I think. And it was refreshing to have a, two sisters and a father, um, that they weren't constantly, you didn't have the little girl saying fuck and other words and stuff like that, like I hear in every other movie now. Um, of course, it was PG-13. They couldn't really do that, but I don't think that that's what they were trying to do. It just, again, I'm not a prude, but a lot of that stuff where they have young kids saying fuck every 5 seconds or something, can't we just let kids be kids? Can't kids be innocent again? And I know people were probably thinking, but the dynamic has changed, Dana. In real life, some little kids talk that way. And I realize that, but I don't need it, I don't need to feel like it's being thrown in my face every time I sit down to watch a movie now. Okay. Fred, you're getting he's getting banned. Um okay. Sorry for that little. John, you say, oh, okay, good point. I rarely go to the theater, but it seems to have decent ratings. Yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion, a decent movie. Um, John, you say it's like $40 for two tickets these days. Coco, you are right. The theater is costly. Um, Blair, you say, I see a lot of kids just on their phones. Yeah. And I don't remember these girls in the movie, the two sisters, being on their phones a lot or having their faces in some kind of electronic device, which was again refreshing, because the two sisters interacted with each other. They interacted with their dad as much as possible and all of that. So, anyway, um, John, I hope that answered your question at least somewhat. Um, so, um, I guess my other question before we get into this movie is, we got 10 people in here right now. Oh, we might have 9 technically because I booted old Fred Farino, um, who was just in here just to cause an aggravation, I think. Um, if there's anybody that wants to join me live on the stream tonight for this commentary, I'd be glad to have you. Even if you can't stay the whole time, that's fine. Um, and I also know some of you might not be, you may be driving around or whatever, and you may not be able to actually be stationary enough to do something like this. But if you want to at any point in time, I'm forgetting how long. Yeah, the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is only 85 minutes. So, not very long movie. just under an hour and a half. So if you want to at any point in time, like I always say, barring it's not a couple of minutes or 30 seconds before the movie's over, you don't have to say yay now. You can wait a little bit. Coco, you say, man, the last time I went to the theater, sound was so loud it was jarring. I don't even want to say how long ago that was. Also, again, I have the link for the movie on YouTube in case you don't have your own copy. I am using the double feature Blu-ray that has a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and 3 on it. And I will tell you guys, if you need me to put either or both of those links back in the chat, feel free to let me know and I will do that. I have my Blu-ray queued up about 18 seconds in. The New Line Cinema logo is on the screen right now. So it's let me know. We'll wait 2 or 3 minutes and make sure everybody's queued up that's going to watch the movie tonight. And just let me know when you guys are ready for those of you that are going to want to watch. If anybody wants to join in live, let me know. Again, you don't have to decide now. You can decide in a few minutes or whatever. I'm trying to finish up my supper here. John, I've heard that more than once about Freddy being really scary in this one. And I agree. You said my buddy Josh says this is his favorite. It's not bad. I think Freddy is scary as hell in this. I thought we were going to have a storm, John. You say I'll probably watch and type here since it's stormy like hell here. Yeah, we've actually got a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. unless something has changed. And it was thundering earlier and it rained like crazy, but now it seems a little cooler out there. It actually said something about a record low for today, I guess. So yeah, they're saying though that severe storms are affecting a lot of the United States, I guess. And it says rain starting soon here. It says it's 73 now. I'm trying to get this thing to go away now. I hate when that does that. Okay. So again, we'll get started about 6:55, guys. I just want to give everybody a chance to get their respective copies queued up. Like I said, you guys just let me know when you're queued up, and when most everybody that's going to watch tells me they're queued up, we'll go ahead and do the countdown. Blair, you said, do you have any convention stories? I think it's fun when you tell them. Well, I may have told all my big convention stories, Blair. However, I don't know if you were in here. You're all set, Texas. John, you say I'm good. I have a copy. I will tell this the one story, Blair, that was kind of recent. When I met Sam Raimi, it was really quick and stuff because I knew that he had a lot of people waiting to get stuff signed and meet him and shake his hand and all that. So, but the experience was, it was one of those things where I met him. He was really super nice. We actually, believe it or not, were able to be at the front of the line when he came back from the photo session where people were getting photos with him. That was the only drawback. And Dirk told me it was this way at the Texas Frightmare weekend recently when he met Sam Raimi. There were signs saying that no cameras were allowed to be out. Same thing at the Lexington Comic Con. If you paid extra to get a picture with Sam Raimi, that was fine. However, they would not let you take selfies at the table. There were signs posted all over the place in that area that said you could not take pictures there. So I didn't get a picture with him, but I got the experience of meeting him. So when he came through, he turned and he waved at everybody. That's something that I don't see a lot. Like when people are coming back from lunch or they're coming back from a Q&A, coming back from a photo session, whatever. Um, and I'm not saying that they're unfriendly. It's just that was really for me the first time I saw somebody come back and greet the fans in that particular way. So that was really cool. Um, I think I was maybe fourth or so in line to meet Sam Raimi. So then when I got up there, of course, I know you guys can't see it, but I had an Evil Dead poster. It's not an original, but it is the original artwork. And so I was like, I don't care. I'm getting this. I got it off of eBay. I'm going to have Sam Raimi sign it. And so he was like, oh, wow, and that made me feel good. And he told me, he's like, I guess he liked my southern accent. He said, I like the way you say things, and that just made my day. Just little things like that. Um, and so, I told him how much, uh, I had been wanting to meet him for a long time. He thanked me for coming. I was like, oh, sir, I had to be here. I was like, Mr. Raimi, I had to be here. You're somebody that I've wanted to meet for a long time. And he was just so gracious, and he was that way with everybody that I saw. Go up there to meet him prior to me meeting them. And then it was one of those experiences that after I met him, like even when me and Steve were on our way home, it hit me. I just met Sam Raimi, and this was one of the big ones for me. Sam Raimi has been on my bucket list forever. I somebody that I thought that I knew that I wanted to meet, but I was getting to the point where I didn't think I was ever going to get the chance. And then, bam, right out of nowhere almost, um, that uh, I got a chance to do that. So sometimes things happen when you're not even, you least expect it, you know. And a lot of people told me he'll cancel, he'll cancel, he'll cancel. Don't even waste your time, Dana. And I insisted. I was like, he's not canceled. He's not canceled. I'm going on and getting the tickets for this thing and all of that. Steve didn't meet anybody, but he didn't even go up and meet Sam Raimi. I was kind of shocked. I guess Steve's just out of that thing now, unless it's Dario Argento or Aja Argento. But that's one convention story I can tell you recent, and it was a dream come true for me, Blair. Um, John, you say Carl York from Campbell Holocaust was at the con this weekend and had a damn Hawaiian shirt on with turtles on it. Oh my God, you're kidding. Oh man. But you say people said he was nice, but you didn't meet him. Um, I don't know if I'd have if I was him if I'd have a wine shirt with turtles on it, but yeah, I mean Carl York. I've seen interviews with him, and he seems like a normal, nice everyday type of guy. Um, and I probably wouldn't mind meeting him, but just think about the wine shirt with turtles. All right, guys. So it went a little bit past, but it is now 7 o'clock. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Like I said, if anybody comes in later and wants to join me live, feel free. Or if any of you guys decide you want to, uh, I'll be glad to have you. All righty. So let's do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Press play. I don't know why. I don't know why the subtitles have been like messed up. They keep giving me the not German, Japanese subtitles every time, and I have to keep switching it to English. Johnny said, "Good for you for meeting Sam. That is cool. Don't worry about the haters who didn't meet him." I'm not sure if some of these people were haters. I they people told me the same thing about Ted Raimi, and Ted Raimi did cancel several. And uh, oh shit, guys, I don't know why this did that. Okay, guys, can you back it up? For some reason, it started. It started Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and I had. Oh, God dang it. Sorry, guys. Um, I'm going to have to figure out how to get it to go back here. Gosh dang it. Hold on there. I don't know what happened. I had Nightmare on Elm Street 2 selected. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, can anybody tell me, John, Texas, anybody else that's watching it, where you're at right now since mine got messed up? So, if you can just give me a timestamp on yours or tell me what's going on, because I don't want to have you guys have to run yours back. Right now, I'm 39 seconds into it, and the school bus is showing up coming down the road. You went back to 17 seconds, Texas? John, did you go back too? Okay. Hold on there. All right. So let's go. You guys can hit play again. I think we'll be somewhat synced up, I would imagine. Sorry about that. I was like, I knew something didn't look right when I saw the girl um, mixing up the plaster of Paris or whatever. So not only does this movie have Mark Patton, but it has Kim Myers and Robert Russler on here as well, and Clu Gulager. And Marshall Bell, and the great Robert Englund, of course, is Freddy Krueger. And, by the way, that is Robert Englund driving the school bus there, I do believe. Yes, you are right, TJ. The pink shirt girl on the bus is Joanne Willett, who was in Just the 10 of Us with Heather Langenkamp and Brooke Thies from part 4. John, you say Robert Russler used to be real easy to talk to on Facebook. I had him on there 10 years ago, but was an old account. I'm sure he's still nice, though. Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy. This was also directed by Jack Shoulder, who also did Alone in the Dark. And when I met Jack Shoulder several years ago, I think, did I meet him at Cinema Wasteland? I think I did. Of course, I had him sign something for Alone in the Dark. Yeah, I think so too, John. You say I think early Facebook, a lot of actors were pretty easy to reach. I always thought this beginning scene where things go awry on the school bus is very creepy and scary. I mean, and when you see the glove, and the sweater, it's like, oh God, Freddy's driving the bus. Yes, Coco, it's scary, especially if you rode a bus, and I did. And it's almost like they're literally perched over top of hell, too, which is what is even scarier. It's possible, TJ, you say maybe this whole movie was a dream and Jesse never woke up. John, you say there's so many ways to interpret this film. Haha. And I agree with a lot of you guys that this is when Freddy was still scary. This is before we got wisecracking Freddy Krueger. And once we got the movie started, I lost about 5 or 6 people. Oh man, could have been drive-bys. So there's the great Clu Gulager playing Jesse's dad there. I don't care what anybody says, though. I know the actor Mark Patton is gay, but man, I think he was hot in this movie. John, you say this movie is either really bad or it's so layered and underrated nobody has quite figured it out yet. Um, John, I think the latter, that it's so layered and underrated nobody has quite figured it out yet. TJ, you say Freddie always had one-liners, but they were more creepy and menacing until part three. Yeah, yeah, you're right, TJ. TJ, you say, damn, that cereal is not right. Oh, well. And John, you say, yeah, I saw part three again recently. I think it's okay, but it's not in my top three of the series. Yeah, I was telling somebody that I like part three, and I used to like it more. I liked Heather Langenkamp returning as Nancy. Speaking of Kim Myers, there she is. Um, and I like the idea of the Dream Warriors. Um, but now that movie's not as high on my list as far as Nightmare on Elm Street films as it once was. Oh, Coco, I can't stand being hot either. You say I can't stand how hot it seems in that house. I can't stand being hot. Um, that's right, Texas. Whenever I see Hope Lang, I always think that Dick Van Dyke is not far behind. John, you say I love one and New Nightmare, and this movie is fun in bizarre ways. And there's Robert Russler. Robert Russler's hot in this movie too, in my opinion. So there's Marshall Bell. He's been in a lot of stuff, but what I always remember him as most clearly, other than this movie, as is Gordy's dad in Stand By Me. Coco, you say, I don't think Jesse is hot, but Clue makes me need a cold shower. Really? John, you said, what I love about Robert is that even as a jerk, he's still likable. He's good at playing that in this and Vamp. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because this character could be a complete asshole. And I think by having Robert Russler play Grady. I think that they're adding an extra layer to this character. And I don't know how many of you guys have seen the Scream Queen um, documentary about Mark Patton, but I think what the writer of this movie did and then refused to, he wanted to put the blame on Mark Patton for years and years and years for playing this character as a gay character on purpose, when it is clear to me now that and has been for the last few years, that the writer did put all these gay innuendos in there. And it really had nothing to do with Mark Patton being gay. I mean, the stuff was there, woven into the storyline. The lines that are mentioned, and then we can pick these things out. And bothers me not one bit that Mark Patton's gay. Um, he still does a fantastic job in this movie. And even if it was a blatantly gay character that he was playing, it wouldn't matter about that either. Um, the point is that Mark Patton's an excellent actor, gay or not, and he played this very well. This character of Jesse Walsh, who is being controlled like a puppet by Freddie to do his bidding. And isn't that what Freddie essentially does a lot? Only he literally takes over Jesse in this one. Um, Even going so far as to emerge from Jesse's body and start to doing all these horrible things. TJ, you said one thing about the Elm Street series for teen centric flicks, they never really have typical bully characters. That's right, TJ. I didn't really think about that until you said something. Coco, you say, I like how direct Clue seems not in just this film. Gotcha. John, you say, yeah, I remember that, Doc. I mean, there's no way he didn't know he was doing that. Even Lynn Shay's cameo. Come on now, Jack Shoulder. But I guess they could put some of the blame on Jack's shoulder. Um, but the writer, David Chaikin, or whatever his name is, he's the guy that was really being kind of an asshole. Well, no, not kind of. He was being an asshole about it, because this was a difficult time in the 80s, was a difficult time for Martin Patton. He said that more than once. I mean, the AIDS epidemic was going on. And so, there were a lot of actors in Hollywood that were being told, and Mark Patton was one of them, that were being told, you can't let anybody know that you're gay, because you'll be out of a job and you won't be able to find work. And so I was reading this interview, I think that was done about 2013 with Mark Patton, where he said basically in New York City, it was fine. He had a lot of gay friends. He was in theater. Everything was fine. And the minute he went to Hollywood, and think about this, this is, 80s. It's not now, when things are a lot more accepted. Okay. So he said he had an agent come look in his closet and tell him which clothes he could wear and which ones he couldn't. So they basically threw all the stuff on the floor that he could wear and said, yeah, you see this? This is what you have to wear. If you try to wear this other stuff, you're not going to have a job anywhere. Hey, Blissful. I get to blabbing, guys, and I hope I don't miss. Oh, Rob Shay, sorry. No, that's okay. Um, John, you say Mark Patton really got a shitty deal with this and how he was typecast because of it. Nowadays, it would be fine and popular, but yeah, in the 80s, lots of no tolerance and dickhead studio heads. Yeah, in 2023, you really think this would be huge? Yeah, I agree, John. Um, Coco, you say he apologized to Mark, but it felt like a little too late and insincere. Exactly, Coco. I felt the same way, and I think deep down, Mark Patton felt the same way about it. But Mark was fine with it, then it doesn't matter what I think. I guess once he got that apology, even if it was half-hearted, as we've been saying, I guess, like you say, as long as he was okay with it and could move on from it. But that really, the years of that writer saying what he said, no, I didn't put that stuff in there on purpose. That was all Mark Patton, that was a hurtful thing to do to him. I just think he should have, come clean earlier. Here's that was always a funny scene for me where they put the snake on Jesse and he wakes up screaming, and then again Robert Russell's character of Grady is not malicious about it and just dies laughing when Jesse flips him off. Texas, you say giant pork shoulder. So Jesse is planning on going swimming, and his dad says, "Nope, you're not leaving the house until you unpack your room." John, you say now there's some things that can't be explained easily, like the bird scene. Um, and you're right, TJ. Mark didn't write the lines. There's something inside me. How's that his fault? Exactly. So here is gay or not. If you're a gay person, you probably enjoy this in a different way that straight people do. But I am willing to bet that everybody, whether you're gay or straight, likes this scene. Come on. I always love this scene. And it's just so funny when Kim Myers and Hope Lang come into the room right when Jesse pretty much pops his cork here in a little bit. Come on, guys. What guy doesn't dance around doing this? Here we go. All right, TJ. Typical dude playing around while he's supposed to be cleaning his room. Funny stuff. And now he's trying to explain to Lisa, I'll just clean my room. So during this room straightening scene, Um, there's a funny scene too where she's finding his jock itch spray. Um, so she's helping him put his sweaters away. And we're going to find out that this was Nancy Thompson's house. So they found Nancy's diary, or Lisa's found Nancy's diary. TJ, you say, when the hell did Nancy have time to keep a diary? Um, Coco, you say, that was my jam in the early 90s. Kathy Dennis sang the 90s version. Maybe it was 89. Pretty sure it was 90. John, you say, I love that Nancy goes from high schooler to full grown therapist, adult in 3. LOL. Gotta love movie timelines, and it's still the 80s. Exactly. Texas, you say, TJ, when she was in the tub. So, right now, Jesse and Lisa are having a good time reading um, the diary, but then, Jesse starts to realize that, yeah, she's not writing this to be sexy. She's talking about her nightmares and Freddy Krueger being in her nightmares and all of that. And he's beginning to see some correlations between her nightmares and his. Um, and he is disturbed by that. So yeah, it is just freaking super hot in this house. Um, I never even had one diary, Blissful, but I have heard of girls having two diaries, and there was even a Roseanne episode where Jackie and Roseanne actually find two diaries of Becky's, and Roseanne says something like, "I wonder if this is a real diary," and Jackie said, "If she's having any fun, it is. This is where she'll put all the things she doesn't want you to know about." So I guess it's certainly a possibility that several girls may have over time had two diaries. TJ says many government officials Blissful. Oh man. Blissful, you say I was terrified that my mom would find mine. I bet there were a lot of girls that were afraid of the same thing. So, guys, I'm once again going to have to take my hat off for a little bit. Johnny said Jackie had two diaries, one for Roseanne and one for plotting her revenge on Sydney and Scream 2. Oh, so I guess Freddie wants his glove back, right? That is a good question, TJ. You say, who keeps the sold signs when they purchase a new house? Um, Coco, you say, Dana, do you not have an oscillating fan in that room? Uh, no, we don't have one that we keep in here. Now, Coco, this room gets quite hot back here. And sometimes Steve will bring his floor fan back here in this room. So if you were ever watching any of his streams, you might see it. What's what you say? Listening, making iced coffee. Sounds good. John, you say, LOL, TJ, this is more of that explained behavior. So high schoolers talking about, how lame their parents are. Or in this case, Lisa's talking about how lame her dad is at parties. TJ, you said the dad is a lazy, is that lazy dick? John, that's why. Yeah, iced coffee, Coco, that sounds real good about now. Oh no, they're talking about Schneider and talking about him having a stick up his ass. No, they're going to be in trouble. Now they're back out there doing push ups. So, for some reason, I always thought those were parakeets, but I don't think that they might be those larger types of parakeets, but they're not regular parakeets. I'm trying to remember what those are called too. TJ, you say, yeah, Clue is tired from working at that medical supply warehouse all the time. Yeah, John. Marshall Bell is another great actor. Love him in The Vagrant too. Yeah, I had forgotten about him being in The Vagrant. Yes, he does well as the hard ass teacher type. So here's the bird scene, um, which, like we said earlier, this is not entirely logical, but it works for the film, I think. What's also funny is, they're, I mean, although this is a frantic thing, one bird attacks the other, attacks them, and then explodes like spontaneous combustion. And, Clue's convinced that it's gas. Jesse says it isn't the gas. And he says, all right, so what is it? Bird rabies? And he's trying to rationalize it. And then all of a sudden, he turns on Jesse and says, you set this whole thing up, didn't you? And then he accuses Jesse of using firecrackers or cherry bombs. So I don't really understand the logic behind that. I don't think there really is any logic behind that. Why Clue would just turn on him all of a sudden. TJ, you say it's Freddy's evil ghost. This is basically possessed and haunted house and possession flick. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, you could look at it that way. So I think too, this is kind of, uh, I guess, the start of where Freddie can appear even when there's not dreaming going on. Um, it starts out the same way the first one did, but then it kind of moves into a different realm. Um, unless, of course, you think of it in terms of Grady's asleep, and so Freddie's able to materialize at the party because Grady is dreaming, or maybe one of the other kids is home dreaming. Exactly. Pop Chase sexy cameo. Yeah, the pool scene was epic, or is going to be epic here. So evidently, Jesse, dream or not, has ended up in this S&M joint, this S&M bar. I love the story that Bob Shea tells that they took him to one of those sex stores, sex shops, and that was where he got the stuff for this S&M bar. John, you say, I wonder if they ever considered the series with a different dream demon in every movie. I'm sure Freddy was so much money that was a no go, though. Yeah, I think they, when Freddy made a splash in the first one, I think I don't know how much they would have thought about maybe changing it. I think people were probably seeing dollar signs even then. TJ, you say someone on TikTok came up with that Freddie is trapped in the house after Nancy brought him into the real world. So he's stuck and uses Jesse to start killing it again. That's interesting, Tate. Oh yeah, that's right, John. They were going to cut the brakes on Freddie. Freddie's pretty much. I mean, there are other great characters in this series, but Freddie was pretty much heart and soul of these movies. I think. Seeing Marshall Bell in that leather is so funny. So now things are getting weird in here. Coach Snyder is, making he made Jesse, exercise, run around the gym a few million times, and now he's making him get naked and get in the shower. But weird things are happening to Coach Snyder now. TJ, you say, yeah, John, people don't like messing with the cash cow. Like when Carpenter wanted to make the Halloween series an anthology, but the audience wanted Myers, keep the same formula kind of thing. So things are getting weird in the good old showers, and here somebody seems to be dragging Coach Schneider. Here's the thing, too, guys. It can't be denied that with or without Jesse, with or without um, his input, there's something going on with Coach Schneider here. Coach Schneider was going to S&M bars. Evidently he liked a little kink along with his sexual activity. But he's naked, he's getting whipped with towels, and then Freddie shows up and messes him up completely. John, you say, I can't help but wonder how the series would have gone if Wes had just stayed for this and maybe one more, but he kind of got to finish it his way with New Nightmare. And you say he did write 3, but still. Yeah, I've wondered about that too, John. And TJ, you say, where was Jesse hiding the glove? Ouch. LOL. So then Jesse gets brought home naked with a towel or blanket wrapped around him by the cops. And his dad says, I got 2 questions for you, and then we can all go to bed after you answer them. He says, what are you taking, son? Who are you getting it from? And Jesse says, I'm not taking drugs. So Jesse's obviously not wanting to talk about this. Look at those shorts on Clue there. Good point, TJ. I gotta put this up here. Why didn't the realtor take off the window bars? Seems like selling 101. I think that's another dog barking out there. I think all my dogs are in the house. Oh, that's nice. Back in honor of Coco, I made coconut iced coffee. There you go. Guys, I hate to step away again, but I'm going to step away real quickly and just run to the restroom again. Y'all just keep watching. They're talking about Schneider getting wasted. So this is almost as if it's like a, a haunted house or ghost spirit type of thing. Um, they went to not the boiler room, but the place where Freddie worked. Um, Lisa is hoping that Jesse could make some kind of connection. Johnny said, my dog almost typed a comment on accident. LOL, he's hyper. But so you say, John, my cat does that too often. LOL. TJ, you say Jesse's whiteies ain't that tidy. LOL. Oh. TJ, you say Lisa actually doing all the legwork in this movie. Jesse just happens to be there. I hope you guys don't mind. I brought my Snickers Blizzard in here. So you hear Freddie's voice saying, "Wake up, little girl," to Jesse's sister, who rolls over and says, "What time is it?" And we see that, oh, it's Jesse there. He says, "It's late, go back to sleep." Oh, and then he sees that he's got the Freddy glove on. So Jesse is now like most, if not all, of the young people in all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. He's staying awake. He just doesn't want to sleep because every time he sleeps, he has these horrible nightmares. And his mother tells him he's looking better. Ain't that just like a mother? You could look like death warmed over and they would try to make you feel better. Yeah, right, TJ. No Hypnosil yet. I'm sorry, but I think this scene where Grady's mouth is obviously too full of food. He's trying to get Jesse to talk, and Jesse's got bags under his eyes. He looks terrible. So Grady says he can't come to the party because he's grounded. Jesse says he's not hungry, and Lisa says, "I wish you talked to me. We can't figure it. We can figure it out." And he says, "There's nothing to figure it out." So here goes Grady. Want me to shut up? Fine, I'll shut up. No problem. See you around, buddy. And all the whole time, his mouth is completely full of food. John, you say, I wonder if maybe they do the opposite and eat a lot of Chinese food or something. Maybe it'll fight Freddy. Never thought of that. Whatever demon that conjures can beat Freddy. LOL. So here we're coming up on the one of the really big scenes in the movie, in my opinion. So Mrs. Weber is going to get Mr. Weber, and her dad says 12:30, miss, no later. So Lisa's friend evidently will go along with anybody. I mean, she seemed a little disappointed that Grady couldn't come, but she hops on to the next best thing, it looks like. So Jesse's saying, listen, I'm going to leave. I'm not into this. And he apologizes. She still wants him to talk to her. I think so, TJ. You say Grady learned to eat from Kaneki and Grease or John Belushi in Animal House. LOL. I was thinking of John Belushi, but I forgot about uh, Kaneki. So this is really the closest we're going to get to a sex scene in this movie, honestly. So if you were expecting a big hot sex scene between Jesse and Lisa, afraid you're not going to get it. We almost get there, but not quite. So they're waiting for Mr. and Mrs. Weber to turn off the lights. So now they're going to really party. TJ. So Gil Myers went to meet Meryl Streep, and she said she don't know who she is. And she met Danielle Harrison's scout. LOL. So that big tongue scene was pretty cool. So here's a scene though that everybody talks about now. And everything's out in the open, and it's like, how did we not see that before? So he goes to Grady's house, breaks into Grady's bedroom. He says, I need you to let me stay here tonight. He's like, and Grady's like, why don't you just go home and take a bottle of sleeping pills? See, and then he said, there's something inside me This whole conversation is funny. Hunting is trying to get inside my body, and he says, "Yeah, she's female, and she's waiting for you in the cabana." Hey, James, you say, think it's one of the best in the series and has the closest tone to the original. I would agree, and a lot of other people have said that too. So our friend basically says, "Fuck the party, go see Jesse." So when Grady's tired. So when he sees that Jesse's sound asleep, he's like, "Sweet dreams, pal," and he's going to go to sleep himself. This is going to turn out to be a really bad move on his part. Exactly, TJ. Grady is pulling a Glenn here. This is a great scene, though. So now Grady's really scared. I would be scared too if I saw this happening to a friend and I couldn't get out of there. I think uh, I think Freddy looks scarier without his fedora on. Actually, he looks really creepy here. TJ said, oof, that Jesse puppet. And him seeing the image of Freddie in the mirror, kind of taunting him. That's right, TJ. Grady and Ferris have the same dad. I have same dad but different moms. TJ, he's a player. Yeah, John. I always felt bad for Grady too in this movie. He was really a friend, just a little over bullyish. Johnny say, just letting him stay over was like, okay, we're buds. This might be a little controversial me saying this, but I think what else this did by having Mark Patton play the character of Jesse is I think it was saying to guys, hey, it's okay for even straight guys to be to let their emotions out and all that. And maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it, but that's the way I take it. Right, Coco. Dudes need to cry sometimes. There's nothing wrong with it. Good question, TJ. I never see the girls from the bus ever again. Why would Jesse dream of random chicks? Yeah, I think that's just horror movie logic for you. Uh-oh. Hey, X-Ray. You say, fuck, what I missed? What part we up to? Well, I'm an hour, 6 minutes, 7 seconds in, X-Ray. No, I'm not eating Ben and Jerry's, although I do like Ben and Jerry's. This is a Snickers Blizzard. John, I agree. The pool scene is iconic. Freddy, the wave and all. I didn't even know they had an apple pie blizzard, Coco. Of course, I got this from Grubhub. Maybe they don't have that on the Grubhub menu. So, nope, I haven't tried it. TJ, there is no Jesse, only Zool. X-Ray, you say, I used to rewind the part where Freddy tells that one guy, help yourself, fucker. That scene was a knee slapper. Yeah, Freddy does look very slimy in this. Yes, I agree, X-Ray. That as a sequel, it's aged better than Nightmare 3. And you also say it's the darkest of the series. Ah, seasonal. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that that's great too, John. You say I do love the scene in four. CK always talks about bon appetit, bitch. Yeah, here's the scene X-Ray was talking about. That scene there where he kind of spread his arms out. That's iconic. And says, "You're all my children now." The stream has frozen. Did it freeze for anybody else, guys? There's nobody but me on the screen, so now it's good. Okay. Good deal, X-Ray. Um, it could be, it could be the internet on my side. Most of the time it does good, but sometimes it has been known to drop out. But I was going to say, I don't have any audio playing. There's no music playing. It could be copyrighted, so I'm definitely not streaming the movie. Nah, didn't get a brain freeze. Yeah, I'm trying not to eat this too fast. John, you say, I love the boiler rooms in these films too. LOL. They go from basement to random side mail door to prison size boiler room. Very dreamlike with the size. TJ, you say, someone do a meme where Freddy disappears into the hedge like that Homer Simpson meme. Yeah, I think they did, TJ. You say they ran out of FX budget for the babyface dogs. So evidently Freddy's making her see things. Coco, you say, I feel like I can't tell what's up with the dog's faces. Just as they're messed up, and that's pretty effective. Yeah, they still look creepy anyway. That's a good point, TJ. It said they don't do the claw screech sounds like the first movie. Um, we only hear it once in this. I agree, X Ray. You say this movie, Mephisto Waltz, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake had dogs with human faces. It's just a creepy image. So this is also showing that despite the ending sequence that we're gonna see, which was also done in the first one as well, but it's showing that love can conquer over evil. It can triumph. And Lisa even goes so far as to caress Freddie and to embrace him and kiss him because she knows that Jesse's in there somewhere. Actually, you say I love bootleg Meryl Streep's performance. You like Kim Myers there? Yeah, I would say she's an underrated actress as well. Yeah, Freddie is very, very dark in this movie. This definitely is a great companion film to the first one. Honestly, even though there's Nightmare on Elm Streets that I like after this one, um, probably if we hadn't gotten another one after this one, I would have been fine with it because this one and the first one are two very strong films. Actually, you say Freddy's industrial power plant hideout was very iconic looking. Exactly. TJ, you say she's lucky she was much younger than Street, but imagine them going for the same parts. This is almost like a Beauty and the Beast type of thing, too, on, a horror level, so to speak. So we can see that Jesse has emerged from the burned remnants of Freddy. Very good point, X-Ray, and I have noticed it too in movies that Steve has watched. You said the soundtrack to this movie in the first was reused in a lot of 80s Hong Kong movies. Yes, John, pretty good effects, even the cheesy stuff. It's memorable. Exactly. So this is going to be kind of similar to the original, only Jesse's getting on the bus here. Everything seems to be kosher. Everything seems to be cool. And Carrie, her friend, is saying that was a really great party. And he says, I can't believe it's actually over. And things seem to be pretty well okay. And they're laughing because, the bumps. And Jesse's like, am I going crazy? Does it seem like the bus is going too fast? And he's like, no. He's like, the bus is going too fast. So he screams at the driver. Who we can clearly see it's not Robert England there. And it's not Freddie. He's looking at him like he's crazy. So Jesse says, I'm sorry. And here we go. No, it's not. Exactly, John. I've said that before. That this movie is almost like Phantasm. It's like a dream sequence, and mostly about the themes and meaning behind it. The story itself is just a front. It's fascinating. So I hope everybody is pretty much synced up. I'm to the credits. I know yesterday I was a little bit ahead, or last night I was a little bit ahead of Texas by the time Bloody Birthday ended. I am going to read some more of these chat messages you guys have put in here. TJ says, good score by Christopher Young. He did Hellraiser 2 and some other great ones. X-Ray, you say the OST for Hellraiser 1 and 2 were much more elegant and British than this one, if that makes sense. Oh, yeah, it totally makes sense, X-Ray. TJ, you say, yeah, this feels like a dream, the way the girls are talking and everything. Coco, you say, oh, Lord. So I do hope y'all have enjoyed this. Again, both of these movies this weekend for the watch alongs were not overly long. Now, Friday night, when I did the drive in movie night, I almost thought that maybe I picked too long of movies. We didn't, there might have been more people that watched it later and will continue to watch it. But I didn't really have a lot of people in the stream, so it may have been my bad that I picked, movies that were too long. But both Bloody Birthday last night and Nightmare on Elm Street 2 tonight were not overly long. They were short movies, actually. Um, Coco, you say it worked out perfectly over here as far as being in sync. Well, that's great. I'm glad. I know sometimes things, for whatever reason, even when we start at the same time, there was a little bit of a error on my part that I thought I was starting the second film and it started the third film. I was like, oh crap, So we had to go back and start again. John, you say, I saw you showed The Exorcist. I love that movie. Just watched it recently and I came to a lot of conclusions about it. LOL. TJ, you say needs a good end credit song like the first one. It's a nightmare. It's just a dream. John, you say mainly that it's about way more than puking demonic uh, possession. Yes, yes, John, that is exactly some of what I was talking about when I was showing it on the drive-in movie night. So there's some real interesting ideas behind it, and there's a theory Reagan is abused. That's interesting. I never have looked at it that way, but I could definitely see that. Johnny said The Exorcist is something you experience, but I don't know if you can enjoy it. It's 10 out of 10, though. I agree with that as well. So the movie basically restarted for me. So I'm just going to turn it off there. Um, so I could maybe stay on here a few minutes more, but like I said last night, I've been kind of tired a little, here just lately, and I probably should try to get some extra rest. Plus, I need to rewatch A Blade in the Dark, which is one of the movies I'm going to be covering with Uncle Bill tomorrow night, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Uncle Bill's tour of Italy. And we're going to be covering Lamberto Bava films. And also, I'm going and picking up my new doggy family member, Zoe, tomorrow afternoon after work. Steve and I are going to go pick her up. So we'll be getting her settled in. Some of you that come to the stream that I'm going to be on with Uncle Bill tomorrow night may see Miss Zoe on there, or she could be asleep, depending on how big of a day she has. Uh, Coco, you say I can't get into The Exorcist. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, The Exorcist honestly is not for everybody, Coco. And I'm not trying to sound elitist or anything. It's not like, oh, we're special because we get it or can get into it. No, that's not it. It's just that that's not a movie that's going to be everybody's cup of tea, you know. I don't think X-ray. I'm experiencing burnout with the streams because I love doing them, and it makes me unhappy that there are sometimes that I am too exhausted or feel too badly to do them. Um, it could be tying in with me getting older. I did turn 47 on my birthday. It could be still a residual effects of long COVID. It could be a lot of things, but fortunately, I don't think it's burnout. But that was a very valid idea. Thank you. I am going to try to get some rest. You say you can't wait for the baklava episode. um, Coco, I here, used to I didn't sleep well. A few years back, I didn't sleep well. Now I sleep almost too good, I think. TJ, you say, by the way, they really have a test like Reagan had in the movie. The needle in the neck for contrast dye is very rare. It's usually a catheter into an artery. Ooh, but I tell you, that scene, ooh, I hate to watch it. Um, John, you say, congrats on the doggy. How big is she? Well, actually, John, have you seen my pictures on Facebook of her? Because she's actually compared with the pictures, we were shocked. Steve and I were shocked because we went for a meet and greet with Miss Zoe um, yesterday evening or yesterday afternoon, and we went into the lady's house that has her right now, the head of the Basset Rescue, and we were just absolutely shocked because, we've had basset hounds, but she's the most petite basset hound I've ever seen. She's so small compared to, the other bassets we see. Of course, the other bassets we've had in the past have been boys, but I haven't even seen a girl basset that's this small. But she's obviously a basset. She just looks like a miniature basset. But I'd be happy to show you some pictures, but honestly, the pictures don't do that little girl justice. She I mean, she looks beautiful in them, but just I mean, I was just in love with her when I actually saw her in person yesterday. Trying to scroll through here and see if I can find the pictures. So, hold on here. Let me share my screen. Oops. Let me share my screen with you guys a second so that you can see these pictures I put on Facebook here. Hold on here. So even there, you can't tell how petite she is, but that really shows her color really well. Um, that's one just mainly of her face. But she's really much lighter colored and doesn't really have that tricolor to her like the other bassets we've had, except for Brandon. Brandon was mostly white. Um, but also, I got these pictures supposedly. Hold on here. Um, go back here a little bit. Um, and these are supposed to be her too, but this does not look like the same dog to me. Or maybe it's just Steve said maybe it's just the lighting or something like that. I don't know for sure, really. Um, Johnny said, God, TJ, that scene is brutal, so realistic, but that's maybe the hardest to watch. Yeah. Let's what you say, Dana, you should post pictures of Bella on your CP. And actually, Bella is her current name. I know I keep calling her Zoe, but Zoe is what we're going to rename her. Actually, you say, yeah, I hear you, Dana. We're old fucks who need our naps. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's right, TJ. Happy birthday to Adrian Barbeau, too. TJ, you say, yeah, John, I don't mind needles, but the neck is pretty nerve inducing. I agree with you guys. John, you say, I did. Cute dog. Blissful, you say, I never go on Facebook. Well, I don't blame you, really, Blissful. TJ, you say, I can be a basset sometimes. Oh, wait, that's not the word I've been called. LOL. Well, I hope you haven't been called anything bad because TJ, I think you're a really nice guy. So I hope nobody is calling you that word. Coco, you say, I know you deal with anxiety and just wondering. I can't sleep for more than 2 hours at a time. Very excited to see the new puppins. Oh, wow, that's got to be rough. Usually, you sound kind of like Steve. He will sleep a little bit and then wake up, and he keeps waking up throughout the night, and that doesn't make for a very restful sleep either. But usually it's either I can't sleep at all or I sleep very heavy. One of the two. Thank you, X-Ray. You said that is a cute ass dog. Thank you, Blissful. You say she's absolutely gorgeous. Thanks, DJ. You say cute dog, huge tongue. Well, that's Bassets for you. They do have large tongues. John, you say I love the mean mug they do. LOL, they're cute. Reminds me of Smokey and the Bandit, Jerry Reed's dog. Yes, exactly, exactly. And when we went to meet her, I know sometimes they can make that mean look at you, but oh my gosh, she was so sweet when we went to meet her. She was a little timid, but the lady we from the Basset Rescue that we talked to about her, and we saw her interact with this lady's dogs, which are also Bassets. Um, she just was very calm, very chill. Went up and kissed the cat while we were there. I mean, how many dogs get along with cats? I mean, I know some do, but and the cat just didn't even really pay attention to the dogs, really. And so, the lady told us she has shown no aggression. Um, if if another dog growls at her or something, she'll just turn around and go away. She's not going to try to fight back or anything. So those are all very good signs. And Steve was impressed, and I think Steve fell in love with her too. So I said, well, I said, I'm in love with her already. And then I turned to Steve and I said, what do you think, Steve? And he was like, yeah, you know. So he did not concerned or didn't say anything later. So I'm thinking everything's a go. Actually, you say you think they switch dogs on you guys, LOL. You know what I was thinking was they probably have a lot of pictures at the Basset Rescue of a lot of different dogs. And I am sure that the first pictures they sent me are of Zoe or Bella. Bella is her name right now. Um, but I'm just not so sure about that second group of pictures. But again, maybe it's the lighting, like Steve said. And also, this dog, if this was her in the second group of pictures, she looked a little more chunky than, Zoe looks healthy, but she didn't quite look that chunky when we went to see her. Yeah, exactly. Blissful Dana, puppy accessories. You love the name Zoe? Yeah. Uh, I I wanted to name her that because I was going to name her Billie Jean after the character of Billie Jean and the legend of Billie Jean, and then I thought, that might be a mouthful to say and all that stuff. We could call her BJ for short, but then I was re-looking through some names and came across Zoe Bell's name, and I love Zoe Bell. I love Zoe Bell. And so I thought, I wonder, I'll run Zoe by Steve and see what he says. I didn't really think that he was going to go with Zoe because he has a friend that had a boxer years ago that was named Zoe, and she got cancer and died. And I was almost afraid that Steve would say no, but he was receptive to it. I said, because if you don't want to, we can name her Molly. And he said, why Molly? And I said, well, after Molly Ringwald. And he kind of rolled his eyes at that. He said, no, we can do Zoe. So Zoe's going to be your name. Thank you, Texas. You say definitely a beautiful dog. Well, of course, TJ, I do. I think you're a really nice guy. Oh, see you later, Coco. You have a good night as well. TJ, you say, by the way, Dana, Friday 13th, the series is on YouTube right now, so I don't have to buy the DVDs. Awesome. Blissful, you say, my dog thinks he's a cat. LOL. John, you say, if you can raise a dog and cat together, they will act like siblings. Yeah, I have heard that. But I would be afraid to bring a cat into our house. One, because Reggie has a really high prey drive, and I think Brink would take out after a cat too. Hey, Wes, you say Daner the streamer. That's cool too, Blissful. You say I used to name my pets after beat authors and poets. Yeah. Oh no, here's trouble. Wes, you say you tell Steve you are the shot caller and tell him to shut his ass. I can't tell him anything now because he's officially asleep. Of course, I guess we can't knock it, can we? It's 8:45, but he did go to lay down rather early, but he didn't go to sleep that early. And I talked to him a few times, but now I'm pretty sure he's asleep now. So, guys, I hate to go, but I am really going to have to get some rest. I've got to work tomorrow, and need to get a little bit of sleep because I got a busy day after work because we got to go pick up Miss Zoe and get her settled in before I assist Uncle Bill with Uncle Bill's tour of Italy and talk about Lamberto Bava films tomorrow night. So, gonna have to get a little rest, but again, I want to thank everybody that was in here for the chat. The conversation was great for Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Had quite a few more people in here than we did last night. So I'm happy about that. So the only other thing I wanted to remind people about, other than me being on Uncle Bill's tour of Italy stream tomorrow night, is Tuesday. I'm thinking of starting a series of streams on summer camp slashers. I don't know how many I'll have. Because I'm going to be talking about the Friday the 13th movies. I'll be talking about The Burning. I'll be talking about Madman, and I'll see what else I can dig up in that department. So you say Steve went to lay down at 1:15 p.m. At this point, I can't remember the exact time, but that may have been correct. Good night, Blissful. So on that note, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. You guys have a good night now.